from Maryland, Scott Van Pelt.
Yeah, Scotty.
Thank you, boys.
Hey, first of all, congratulations. We are all very, very happy that you were chosen to do what you're going to do tonight. You have any jitters, any nerves, any anxiety looking ahead to what we got this evening?
Yes, because I've done it. You know what it is, and when you've done something for a long time, and I've done SportsCenter for a long time, you get into a comfortable place, but comfortable and complacent can be side by side, right? And the last thing you want to do is get to a place where you feel like, yeah, Dan Patrick and I talked about this, right? He's one of the all-timers. Do you reach a place where, you know, you start being too comfortable and then people start noticing, hey, this guy sucks. You know, like the last thing you want is to feel like you've reached that place where you can just trust that you know how to do it. Like, I don't know how to do this, Pat. Like, I know how to host a television show, but I've never hosted this one. And this was theirs before I got here. So I don't feel like I'm not trying to come in here and elbow my way around. But I think I looked at how you did what you did with Game Day.
Well,
where you just blend into the people that were and recognize this is a collaborative thing. It's not mine, it's ours. And the best success is always shared success, not individual. So I just want to be a great teammate. No joke. Like, I hope that's not cliche, because that's how I sincerely feel.
no, and it is cliche because that's how a lot of great teams operate. And a show is a team. I was very lucky to join the Game Day crew, as we got your guy, Stanford Steve, who is a weapon for us behind the scenes. I love that man. I do. He had dinner with us on Friday night. Got some good stories. Had a little tequila.
What?
I mean, he is awesome. I love that guy. But now our attention is facing towards Bills-Jets September 11th in the shadows of New York City. I assume there's going to be a lot of tribute and conversation about the, September 11th and its historic relevance, or how are we handling that?
I felt, Pat, and this is a conversation we had on the flight up here. And I don't mean this to be in any way disrespectful to, if someone is in a place in the country that isn't here, how does this day resonate with you? Because it's intensely personal in New York, because it happened in New York. It happened to America, but it happened largely in New York. And so when we start, it's my intent to be reverent to the date and recognize what it is, because it's a significant day in American history and in New York history. At the same time, sports offered the opportunity post 9/11 for New Yorkers and people around the country to gather together and do what we love to do. Sports are our greatest connector. I really believe that's true. And you see it every week when you're out there on the road, whether it's wrestling, whether it's college football, whether it's whatever it is, it's our greatest connector. And so acknowledge what this day is. It's significant. But also acknowledge that New Yorkers are going to come, 80,000 of them, to this joint tonight to cheer the guys in green, and there'll be some Western New York in the building cheering the guys in blue. So let's celebrate that, because that's kind of who we are as Americans, right? That's what we do.
Yeah, we honor, you'll acknowledge, and then we move forward into a unifying message of tonight, week 1, NFL ends with a great game. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah.
How do you think this game's going to go, SVP? Obviously, we don't a lot up in the air. We're not exactly sure how the Bills are going to be. That people will act like they're down. I think they're flying under the radar in a great spot. And we've seen the kind of hype train throughout Hard Knocks with the New York Jets. Hopefully, for them, they come out on fire, because I think people might be a bit worried if they stumble out of the gates. How do you think it starts tonight?
Put it this way. The other tenant in MetLife better be better than the team in blue on Sunday night. My God.
Bad.
I mean, rarely do you see a team get dump trucked the way the Giants were. So the good news for the city is that the Jets can't possibly be that bad. I have the sneaking suspicion that we get the best of Aaron Rodgers. And having said that, if I'm Sean McDermott and I'm Buffalo, I tell my guys, look, we're the favorite in this game and we're the favorite in this division, but everyone's lining us up like we're coming in here to take an L tonight. That's not why we had. That's not why we came down here. It's a rare spot where a favorite can lean into kind of an underdog role. But I have to think that we'll see the best of Rodgers. And I have to think that the bright lights of Monday night, where he's been unbelievable, we get the best of who he is. And frankly, I just want to see what it looks like, right, AJ? Because we don't really know. We don't know how they're going to use Cook, how they're going to use Breece Hall. What's it going to look like when Wilson and Rodgers are trying to, dial it up for 4 quarters, not just one drive against the Giants. So I think the biggest mistake we make is entering into a week 1 thinking we know when we don't.
Yeah,
And then the bigger mistake we make is taking 60 minutes of football and turning that into, wow, the Bengals suck. No, they don't. They probably lost one game. You know what I mean?
Well, it's Overreaction Monday, so please have some respect. You know what I mean?
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, please.
Bengals suck.
No, they don't. We have no idea what's real and what isn't at this stage,
Right.
but it is nice to lose our minds for it. Tonight, are you guys looking ahead to the game, or are you doing a lot of recap as well? What is the balance of this evening?
It's a healthy dose of both. I mean, our intent, weather permitting, is to talk to Joe and Troy about this one. I mean, you're talking about a man in Troy that's won a bunch of Super Bowls. Joe and Troy have called them. It's a regular season game, so let's not make it a Super Bowl. At the same time, given all that's baked into this one, the date, Rodgers' debut, Jamar's not going to play, but he's still here and healthy, thank God, and someday we'll play again, we hope. It's a lot about tonight. At the same time, you know, you get that first buffet of Sunday football, and there's plenty to dive into. So there's some looking back, but the heavy side of the scale is looking at tonight's game because it's the best one on the schedule, and we just hope that it's the best game in reality.
We can't wait to celebrate it alongside you guys. Starting at what time tonight are you guys live?
6 bells.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
Tone Diggs has a question for you, SVP.
Yeah, SVP, I've watching you over years, I kind of got an idea potentially of your angle, and you kind of alluded to it. So this upcoming weekend, week 2, does that mean you're going to be betting on the Bengals, Seahawks, Steelers, and Giants? Is that how we're working forward?
If you're familiar with my strategy, I want to know who no one likes, and then I jump on them with both feet. And that had me going to the window on Nebraska last Saturday. How'd that work out? Look, I mean, you can't just blindly fade the public, but if someone looks just dreadful, I love the opportunity to then back that side because that things have a way of evening themselves out. So it's early in the week. We got to sharpen our pencil. I had a 6-6 week. I got very aggressive in the winter segment, and it was way too many. I need to just be a bit more judicious when I figure out who we're going to back on television.
Will you talk gambling tonight on Monday Night Countdown?
No. I mean, there's like FanDuel segments, but I mean, it's an interesting line, Pat, that we're navigating these days, right? I mean, it was forever the third rail, and now there's partners for these teams. So listen, I try to be respectful to what our bosses have in mind, but at some point, I think we're all kind of in the pool here, and we can just acknowledge that. But I mean, I'm not blatantly like telling you who you ought to be like firing on tonight. I mean, I figure I got that space on Thursdays on our show on SportsCenter, which we do. But no, I mean, it's not like a scripted part of the program.
You got to let it in there, though. You know what I mean? You got to let it in there. You just kind of, you know what I mean?
A little bit, like Musburger used to do.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit. Tom,
We're all grown-ups here, boys, aren't we? We're all adults. We know what time it is.
Yeah, we literally just saw a commercial before you went live telling me if I bet $5, I win $100. And then I also get free YouTube TV if I go ahead and do that. And then all of a sudden you go, I think this team is due to win by 2 points. You know what I mean? It's like it is a balance. You're the right guy for it, though. Honestly, you are the right guy to do it.
Well, I mean, I listen again. I don't want to start talking, crazy. I just think these networks are giving away money, and I just don't know where the line is. I don't know what's out of bounds and what's not. You know what I mean?
Nailed it. That was an incredible Pittsburgh Yinzer accent, obviously, as A.J. Hawk drops off the conversation. He was so disgusted that there was no scripted gambling talk tonight in the Monday.
Sorry, A.J.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Wait. AJ just quit the show.
Done.
I mean, that is something that's going to happen. Ty has a question for you.
SVP, considering it is Overreaction Monday, when you look at yesterday, the Commanders' performance and Sam Howell, I mean, a couple weeks ago, everyone's saying, hey, Ron Rivera's a big dumb dipshit. This guy needs to get fired. He's at the end of his run. But then they win yesterday, and I don't want to say convincing fashion, but what's the temperature of the Commanders around the greater D.C. area today?
They won. It was not a work of art, and no one cares because they're in first place in the NFC East, tied with the Eagles and the Cowboys. Right? I mean, it's always funny, right? Half the NFL fan bases get to wake up Monday and say, "Hey, we're we're 1-0 and you feel good about it. I mean, the honest answer about how people feel in the area is they're just happy there's been an ownership change, and getting the city back on board is I don't say it's all that matters, but it's pretty high right next to are they good or not. And everything feels different there. And it's hard to explain unless you're from there or you've been there. That place used to be bananas. I think that fan base used to be on par with any in the NFL. I'm biased, but maybe superior to any. But it deteriorated to the fact that it's mostly gone. So Josh Harris and his team have a lot of work to do. But, you start with you have to beat the team that you're supposed to beat. They did that. And we'll see how many they win. But, it feels better around there than it has in decades, and that's a start, man.
Yeah, the fact that they were even supposed to beat anybody, though, is good.
Yeah,
true. Like in that game, the Cardinals were the dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Not the Commanders. Mm-hmm. That's a win.
Right.
No poop pipes, right?
None.
No poop pipes burst on anybody in the stadium. That's
Railings
good.
held up, too.
We're in a good.
I don't think that happened. And it was mostly Commanders fans as opposed to, literally that place was like a bingo hall every Sunday you could rent out. Whichever team you're playing, come in and take it over. It was free of charge. They did.
Yeah, just keep your head on swivel because these pipes do burst and you'll get
Could
poop.
be poop.
You'll be poop.
Could be poop falling.
$40 million
Beware of falling poop.
Hey, $40 million renovation. Sam Howell looks like he's a guy. New ownership, obviously.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow.
Hey, I don't know if you saw this. Your head did this thing we saw. Yeah. Didn't say anything. It said a lot.
I'm a Howell fan. Want to see some poise there right before halftime. The ball to the Cardinals. Just want to see. Look, they got lucky. When he was at Carolina, he was thought to be a first-round guy. He slipped to the 5th round. That was it was found money there. But I just need to see a little more poise before halftime. You got to value the pill, baby.
I do love just. Didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Nope.
Didn't have to say anything. Just got a lot of questions. That's why you're the best. Speaking of, tonight's going to be awesome. Last question here from D-Butt.
Hey, SVP, can't wait to see you crush it tonight. I know as a player, Monday Night Football was kind of the pinnacle for us. You had Sunday Night Football, that was great, but Monday Night Football was that day where you knew everybody was watching. What are you most looking forward to tonight, starting a new gig?
When it's over, I just want to have it. I just want to do one, so I know what it feels like. Like I said earlier, when I got to do my version of SportsCenter, it was sort of my canvas. So it's like, all right, whatever we put on this, good, bad, or indifferent, I'll own it. If it works, great, and if it doesn't, all right. I feel like I'm moving into an apartment where I got roommates and they've been there. So out of respect to the people who produce it and the people who've been there and the people who've hosted before, Boomer, Mike Tirico, the late great Stuart Scott, Susie Colbert, these are friends, these are legends. I just don't want to F it up, man. What I look forward to is hoping to be a decent steward. I take my cues from a guy like Reese Davis, who's an incredible host. Everybody sitting around me are the stars. Just don't F it up. And ultimately, it's a game, man. You kind of can't screw it up. Just let's have the enthusiasm for what tonight's about, and let's have fun. And my big boy Stanford Steve just gave me a peek. I got him along by. If I got him, how could I lose?
Hey, how's he doing? We missed him this morning. He was traveling for Monday Night Football. I get a chance to normally hear his brain on Monday mornings, and it makes me better. Now, all of a sudden, I missed him. My whole day's ruined. Tell him that, please.
I'll tell him to get with you when you're done. Honestly, am I overselling this? He's the best. There's nobody better than that dude.
We love his energy.
Yep.
I love the way his brain operates. I like the way you said new show, right? You're moving into somebody's apartment. It's already been made. I felt like that with game day. You don't want to really step on any toes. Stanford Steve had to do that as well, but he is navigated. Well, shouldn't we maybe talk about, and every time he says it, I'm like, this guy knows.
Yeah,
This guy knows TV right here. He's a big bald doofus that knows TV right here. He's good.
He's the best. You know what it is? If you're in this life, Pat, and you got it, if you're lucky enough to have people around you who've got your back, who want to see you do well, and you can help them be part of, again, it's all about shared success. Like having that guy along for the ride wherever we go and seeing him shine on game day, that's the best, man. The best.
How'd he do? How does his picks do?
His picks suck. He needs to tighten it up because somebody decided he needs to give out 6 a week. There's a number between 0 and 6. I feel like he needs to sharpen the pencil and maybe dial it back a little bit. But you know how it is. The producer wants more. If some is good, more is better. But his picks are garbage at the moment. We need to get that taken care of.
Yeah, I think we do need to change the vibes a little bit around it. Let's make a baker's dozen.
Ooh, I like
And then
that.
we'll put him in like a, we'll put him in one of those
chef hat.
chef
Yeah.
hat with the
Apron.
apron, and he's saying,
The Swirsky, right? The baker's dozen. Yeah, I mean, why not? Like, go buckshot. Throw them out there. See what the hell happens.
give him a spatula too, and it's a
Ooh.
pancake actually.
With the
And he tosses it.
It
logo on
sticks.
it.
Yeah, make him do 13.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.